Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and today I get to be a film nerd. That's right. We're going to talk about cinematography and my favorite cinematographer, Roger Deakins, who just won an Oscar back in 2017 for Blade Runner 2049, his work with Denis Villeneuve. And he is doing the camera work for 1917, which is Sam Mendes' new war film. Now, I'll be honest, when I saw the trailer for this, it looked good, looked like Oscar bait, looked like something I'll watch, but not something I was like excited for. Felt like it's something I've seen before, and it looked like it was going to be a good technical film. But this new featurette that Universal just dropped completely just changed the game for me, and now it's on my must-see for the holiday season. And I wanted to share it with you. I wanted to watch it all and do a reaction, but Universal was going to ding me if I actually played the whole clip. So we're going to watch it together transformatively. Fair use, everybody. But here we go. If you watch this clip with me, I can't play the sound. I had to change the footage a bit, but this whole film, they talk about the fact that they wanted you to follow these two actors in the film. Sam Mendes is talking about the fact that they wanted to, it follows these two people who basically have to go from one place to another to an attempt to save a bunch of people's lives. And in order for you to feel that, they wanted you to follow along and feel like one long take the whole movie. So they do these scenes where the cameraman is on cranes and then they grab it and they rush, and they're obviously going to do some CGI erasing on some of these camera moves, but still it's incredibly impressive that they're going to be able to, that they're actually doing this by following the camera up hills, down hills, all in one long take. And they talk about the experience of running, and then as the cameraman are running, they're collecting it to a truck. So in one take, you're getting it from a crane to handheld, then taking it to the truck, all in one movement, so they could make this one seamless effect from Roger Deakins, cinematographer, who just wanted to make it feel like the chaos of war. Kind of like in Saving Private Ryan, obviously, but, you know, more full-time. They wanted you to be in the trenches with these guys running through the war. So the whole movie is them trying to figure out, and obviously there's going to be digital cuts because they have to do that now. They did that in Birdman and Children of Men and Gravity, obviously, when they do those long takes. There are secrets to trick them together, but as a viewer, you're not supposed to see them. It's supposed to feel like one endless take. And I implore you to go watch this with their music and the actual quotes, because it's pretty incredible, and it got me immediately excited. They talk about the hurdles, the hassles of how you had to do this in one take, because it's all natural lighting outside. There's no exterior shots, and they can't like put scenes that they're going to cut. It's all done in one take. You can't rely on, well, we'll just cut that scene later. Everything was just orchestrated from day one to all be one through line to tell it. And they shot in order too, to really make sure the story made sense and they could do everything they needed to do. So you can't just cut a scene because it's all one take. So the pressure of that as a director and cinematography is crazy. So like right here, you're watching, like they're walking and they clip it to this rigging system that they've made so they can then go down into the trenches. Like, because the cameraman's going to trip or whatever else. And like this stuff just makes me geek out as such a nerd. He's talking about how they one take, they're running with the camera with the steady cam, and then they jump on a Jeep, and then they jump off the Jeep, and the cameramen are just literally running all over this place, so you can really feel the chaos and feel like you're really on this journey with these two heroes. It's incredible. And they talk about, as I was saying, when it got sunny or cloudy, they'd have to wait because all these amazing outdoor locations, they're not inside. They had to wait for the weather to be permitting to make sure it works. So they talk about how they're waiting for shots, and then some days they'd come or it'd be raining and it's not allowed to rain due to the way it was. Or in other instances, it was too sunny out. And so they had to reevaluate how they could do it. And they also talk about how they couldn't have any lighting because they had, 360 angles that they were worried about. And then on days when it got too sunny, they'd have to wait around on set, waiting for them to get the clear, sort of gloomier, cloudy moment, that sort of 5 hour, 2 hour or 30-minute window where they'd do a take. And then as soon as it happened, that, this is them waiting around talking about it. As soon as that came, they'd be like, all right, weather. Clouds back. All right, we got to go. Go, 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 go. And then run and doing these shots in the weather, in the limited moments that they had after they rehearsed during the sunny parts to give this sort of connected through line of one seamless take. Dude, I'm telling you guys, go watch this BTS. It's incredible. Goosebumps when I watched it. I was like, oh my God, that's how you do it. That's how you make the camera and the movements part of the story. And that's why Deakins is one of our masters, because he's not out there like with his style, like the man in certain lighting techniques or things. He's a director's cinematographer, a stories cinematographer. That's all he wants, is he wants the tone, the vision, the screenplay, everything to read the way it's intended. And so he's very instrumental, and I think that's why some of the best directors love working with him. But this is an incredible piece. I implore you guys to go check it out. I'll have the link on my in the description down below. You can also find it on my Twitter, and you can go watch it and get the whole feel of it there. But before I wrap this up and talk about my excitement, because I was not excited for this movie, I'll be honest. As I said, now I am, and I think this is going to be cool. Not only from I believe from a dramatic and acting standpoint, they're going to deliver it. It's going to look good. But now from a technical standpoint, it only adds like 10 more notches of like, oh, cool, I want to see how they pull this off. I remember watching the film Contact. There's that scene where Robert Zemeckis directed that film where the little girl, the dad dies, she drops the popcorn, she's running upstairs, it's all one shot. She runs in the bathroom, she opens up the mirror, and it was all one shot. And I remember being a kid going like, oh, how'd they do that? That was so cool. Zemeckis was one of the best at directing those sort of seamless originators too, using special effects for cinematography. And so now we have these films where, masters like Deakins, they're not afraid of the digital. They're working with it. Deakins did Rango, which was ironic. He actually, it's a CG film, but he was there working on the light, the camera setups, the tone to make that film even be more beautiful. And it looks fantastic. But his work, if you aren't familiar with Deakins, I mean, aside from Blade Runner, which we just did, let me throw on a nice montage that you guys can stare at as we talk about this. He did a lot of Denis Villeneuve's work, obviously Blade Runner. He did Sicario. He did Unbroken, Angelina Jolie's movie, Prisoners. He did True Grit, Revolutionary Road, Reader, Doubt. Not my favorite films, but looked fantastic. Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. No Country for Old Men. Jarhead, where he started working with Mendes. Jarhead has some amazing cinematography. He did The Village, which not a great film, but if you go back and watch that film, it looks fantastic. House of Sand and Fog, Beautiful Mind. The Man Who Wasn't There is one of my favorites. Black and white Coen Brothers film. If you've never seen that, that scene, I think it's about to come up with Tony Shalhoub and the light that hits the walls. Oh, it's incredible. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? There it is. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Hurricane, Big Lebowski. He worked with Scorsese on Kundun. Fargo. Oh, Fargo is fantastic. The cinematography there. Dead Man Walking, and then Shawshank Redemption, which I'm going to get to, and then Hudsucker Proxys, where Tim Robbins met him and suggested him for Shawshank, and then worked with him on Dead Man Walking. He did Barton Fink. He so many movies. He did 1984 and Sid and Nancy back in the day, and then obviously these shots in Skyfall. He did it's really, really good stuff. So he is one of our best, and to know how he works, I watched some clips, and there was one I love this shot in Blade Runner. It was so cool. To see more of how he works, I found this shot he did with an interview he did with NPR, where he talks about his favorite scene from Shawshank Redemption, and it's not some like big scoping shot you'd think about. It's the scene on the roof where Andy Dufresne gets the suds for his friends. Watch the scene. He talks. It's an incredible way to get a sort of a insight on how Deakins works.
It's played very tightly, and then there's a shot pulling them towards the roof, and then there's a point of view looking down, a tight cut over the shoulder, and then it cuts to this quite ostentatious high shot, big crane shot looking down at the two of them, with Clancy holding Tim over the sort of the abyss, as it were.
This just makes you dizzy just watching it.
You cut out of these like really tight kind of close-ups to this one big shot that sort of cranes down to make more of that moment. And on the day we came down to this over the shoulder, and then I talked to Frank. I said, well, let's keep it going.
Frank is the director.
Yeah, Frank Darabont directed it, and I said, well, we can keep it going just to get that sort of woozy sense. So
that's where a director and a director of photography work so well together, because Darabont, and I told this story in my 25 years later Shawshank video, you can check that out. But when Tim Robbins suggested or wanted to do the film, he had some clout at that time. He was becoming a big actor, and he's like, I'll come do this film, but since Frank Darabont hasn't made a feature, I'd like him to work with Roger Deakins, who I just worked with on Coen Brothers' Hudsucker Proxy. Fantastic cinematographer. Deakins could tell. And so, Robbins could tell that Deakins would bring that sort of professionalism and ideas to it, because Deakins is a collaborator. And so some cinematographers aren't. They're a pain in the butt, and they want to do it their way. But Deakins came on to help Shawshank. Clearly, I do believe Deakins' DNA is all over Shawshank to make that film what it is. And this just shows it, because he's suggesting, look, we can keep doing the over the shoulders, which is what every director would just do to be safe. But let's keep that motion going. Let's slow it down. Let's make this moment, the scene, you want that. You want that like, whoa, what's going to happen? What's happening? And it only makes it that much better. He goes on to sort of explain further why this is his favorite scene from the movie.
So the guard lets Tim Robbins go.
Because you cut to Tim's face, then there's one long camera move revealing the guy's drinking beer in the setting sun. And it goes across the main prisoners, and then you see the Clancy Brown character come through, and he takes you across to reveal the Tim Robbins character, Andy sitting in the corner, and you keep going around and you come onto Morgan Freeman, Red, and the camera slowly on the voiceover just slowly goes round, like it's almost like, I feel it's the camera's moving in time to the speed of the voiceover. It ends up on this big close-up in Morgan's face in the sunlight, and the guard's sitting behind him. And to me, that's the best shot in the film.
Really?
Yeah, because it expresses the voiceover, and it creates a sort of mood, and you kind of feel you're there somehow. I don't know.
I love how just unassuming and humble he is, just talking about the fact that, if you feel the scene, you feel the moment, you feel like you're there. He's totally right. This scene, it's one of the reasons I love this film. Like, what an amazing scene. It's finally they have a win. They have a win, and they get to feel free again. The whole hope they talk about in the film, you just get it, and it's timed perfectly. He's right, to the VO, and then the music is just another fantastic Thomas Newman score, another fantastic element of the scene. But Deakins, obviously a huge ingredient to the film, and Morgan Freeman's narration, etc. But he knows how to create that moment. He knows what that moment needs from a camera standpoint. He knew, and so he takes it there when you want it to get there. He slows it down. He knows when to move, when to cut. He's one of our best director photographies we got out there. I'm so excited to see more of his work. I didn't get to see Goldfinch yet, but I hear it's not very great. I like the book. I started the book, but it's like one of those movies I'm going to see it because he did the photography for it. So anytime he does cinematography, I'm like, you know what? I don't care if the movie's good or bad. It's going to look beautiful. And now I know 1917 has another new hook to it that's gotten me very excited. What do you guys think? Did that make you more interested, less interested? And beyond that, what's your favorite Deakins film? What do you think is the best cinematography he's done in a movie? And what's the best cinematography in a movie for you? Like, what's the one movie you look back and you're like, yeah, no, the camera work in X is the best. I want to hear those comments down below. I'm going to get involved, type back. So please engage on YouTube. It helps the algorithm. Comment, like, all that stuff, and subscribe as always. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with more videos soon. Have an awesome day, everybody. Bye.